We're going to get started. David Banquet said it's past his bedtime, so we're going to get started. If y'all are not through eating, just continue to eat as we do the program. First, Angie, where are you? Where's all your help? Get all your help out. Bonnie, how many do we have?
300
About 400.
Yeah.
About 400, and we got through eating less than an hour. So that was great service, great food, great hospitality. It is my privilege to welcome our teachers and our retired teachers, our administrators, our special guests to our 22nd Annual Teachers Appreciation Banquet. It's quite an honor for our bank and for our officers and for our directors to honor the teachers. We know what each of you mean to our community. You influence the young people on a daily basis and make them a better citizen, and we can all grow our community because of you, and we'll have a better place to live. Again, thank you, and it's indeed an honor to have y'all all as our special guests tonight. And we have some introductions that we'd like to make at this time. We have some of our community board members with us and our board of directors. I'd like for our community boards and our board of directors to stand and be recognized at this time. That's y'all too, board of directors and community boards. Now we've privileged, where's our student advisor group?
Right back straight.
All right, I want all the student advisory group to sort of be coming towards the front. Now while they're coming, we're going to talk a little bit about our student advisory board. We have student advisory boards in all of our markets, which includes Giles County, Marshall County, Lincoln County, and Limestone County, which is Athens, Alabama. We do have an Ardmore system that we have a student advisory board. Altogether, we have 92 students. We try to teach these students a little bit about banking. We try to learn from these students about what's going on in today's market. We try to involve them in our community affairs and doing different things to promote our community. Now, I want to let y'all know that these are products of what y'all have done. They're the best of the best, the cream of the crop, and I'm going to let each one of them introduce themselves and say whatever they want to say. I think some of them are going to tell you where they're going to go to college and what they want to get their degree in. Some might be undecided, which is all right too. I'd say the vast majority will probably change their mind a little before 4 years anyway. So Tracy Griggs is in charge of our student advisory board. Do you want to come up here with them, Tracy? Come on up here, Tracy. He guides them, leads them, coaches them, counsels them, guides them. And Tracy, if you got anything to say, you can say it right this minute. Tracy said, I've talked enough for him, so we're going to let the students come around. Which one? Who's volunteering first?
All right. Attaboy, Brian.
I'm Brian Mitchell II. I'm going to the Army August 19th. Thank you.
My name is Carly Shelton, and I'm going to go to University of Tennessee at Chattanooga to study nursing.
Hi, yes, I'm Stephen Miller. I'll be attending Xavier University in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm planning to double major in management and accounting.
My name is Jessica Ozier, and I'm planning to attend the University of Alabama in Huntsville, and I'm planning on majoring in biology and minoring in chemistry.
My name is Marina Poole, and I'm going to major in accounting, and I'm going to go to Motlow for my first 2 years and then transfer to either UTC or UAH to finish it off.
I'm Hannah Counts, and I'm going to go to Montlow, and I want to be a teacher.
Now, they've been involved in quite a few activities this time. They've helped us at Bean Day. They helped us at the Heart Fund to raise money to make awareness of heart. We also helped us in the toy drive, helped underprivileged children to do that. What else did y'all do? So much. Anyway, they were quite involved, and we're extremely proud of them, so congratulations. Now, in Fayetteville, we have two offices. We have the Fayetteville office and we have the Park City office. And I introduced Tommy to have the invocation. He's the vice president and county executive for the Fayetteville office. Jason Golden, who's on the end, which everybody knows Jason, he's the Park City county executive and in charge of the Park City office. But you know, we can't do it without good help. And our employees, as I've always stated, are our best asset that the bank has. And we have excellent employees at Park City, and we have excellent employees at the Fayetteville office. And I'd like for our employees and officers to stand and be recognized. Now, they do a great job, and I want to say congratulations for all your hard work, and it pays off to, I will recommend any of them, and will not back up. If you want to do any banking or any banking needs, it'll be done first class and on time and proudly. So, again, thank each of y'all for being on our team. And we have an officer here that's from our Huntsville office. He's the executive officer down at Huntsville, and he's here. He's Randy's brother-in-law, but I'm going to ask Jay to stand up and be recognized. He's the executive officer from Huntsville. We also have support from the Pulaski office. They support us 100%. And I'd like to recognize our chairman and chief executive officer, Mark Hayes. We'll hold applause till I get through with all the Pulaski. Mark Hayes, chairman, chief executive officer. Don Haney, who is the president, chief operation officer. Tracy Porterfield, who is our chief financial officer. Milton Nesbitt, who is our senior credit officer. Tracy Griggs, who is our human resource supervisor and student advisory board coordinator. Judy Pruitt, who's our marketing director, and Amy Woodard, who markets online services for us. Thank y'all for all y'all's support. Now some of us are touched on a daily basis with education. You know, our spouses or our parents or something, or teachers. So we believe in the public education and what it means and what it does. And I'm going to recognize some connections through education through our employees. First person I'd like to recognize, I'm going to ask her to stand. We'll give each one of these an applause as we do it. Kathy Hollins, Tommy's wife. Where are you, Kathy? Stand up. Crystal Bradford, Tommy's daughter-in-law. Is she here? She's with the baby, I think. Brooke Alder, she left her baby at home. She's here. She's here. That's Jeff Alder. Well, stand up, Brooke. We won't see how pretty you are. All right, the grandparents, Bobby and Cindy Alder. Where are y'all? We got a high school player next, Nathan Browning, who's Megan's husband. Where are you? Stan Golden, who's Jason's dad. Andrew Kai Dunno, Heather's sister. That's a tongue twister, but we got it, I think. Melanie Pitcock, Laura's sister-in-law. Now I'm going to tell a little story about the next one. That's be my mother-in-law and my wife. I guess y'all sort of missed them tonight. You know, I told you last year when we had a little stress, not a little nervous, and he kept on shooting these pictures at me, and I thought it was lightning, and I said I might jump across this table. I was over yonder against that wall, but I gave him a little more room. I could get a running start tonight if I had to. Anyway, I thought I was going to make it through the day without having any stress. And this was going to breeze right through. So I went to the farm right early this morning and carried him a link. They'd broken a chain on a drill. I got it fixed. That wasn't too stressful. And here it came about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Miss Donna says, my mother's not feeling too good. So I'm going to carry her over to see Dr. Barnes. And she carried her to Dr. Barnes, and Dr. Barnes said, I believe she needs to go up to the emergency room. That's what these doctors do. They don't have any tests they can do in their office. They send them to the emergency room. So she went up to the emergency room and still up there. But we've heard from the test, there's not anything too negative on her test. The test came out good, but Miss Donna's there, and this is the first meeting Miss Donna's missed since she's been here, and Miss Barnes wanted to come tonight. She'd planned on coming because she thinks she had a birthday last week, and you don't tell women's age, but is it anybody here that's over 94? If it is, stand up. If it's not, she would have thought she'd win the oldest one here. I'm going to tell her she won it, but she's not going to get anything because she wasn't here. I'm going to have to sort of slip around. I ain't going to be too ugly to Donna Gill. She feeds me. All right. Bonnie, how am I doing? Bonnie's supposed to keep me straight. Y'all know that, aren't you? She won't even sit at the head table with me. She said, I won't sit out here so I can be away from you. So there she is. Stand up, Bonnie. Now, she's responsible for all the decorations and all the organization and everything goes on. If everything goes smooth, Bonnie gets all the credit. If it goes bad, y'all can blame it on me. You couldn't hear me to start out with. I don't know if you can hear. I was hearing now. Is it any better? I did tell the retired teachers they'd go first, but I don't think they heard that. All right. I'd like to recognize some other people here tonight. We'd like Dr. Janine Wilson, who's the director of the city schools. I asked her to stand up, be recognized. And while you're up, I want you to introduce your board members, please. Stand up.
Tony Holland, well, you know him. And Mark Clark has the baseball game. He has a son playing, and Alice Palacio has a soccer game. She has twins playing, and Dorsey is getting ready for knee surgery. So those three get me here, and Danny Brown is the ex-PGA. So that's okay.
I'd like to call on Dr. Wanda Shelton, who is our county director of schools, and she'd like her to introduce her, and then she can introduce her board member. Here she is.
Now I have Dexter Sullivan, Mr. Pendergrass is back there, Mr. Tom Stevenson, y'all stand up, Ms. Veronica King, and can't see any further. I think that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We appreciate what y'all do, and we appreciate you board members. Sometimes that job gets a little hot, but y'all hang in there. Y'all doing a great job. We'd like to introduce Paul Fisher from Riverside Christian Academy, who's the head administrator. I'd like for the principals of all the schools to stand. I want you all to stand up because I'm going to ask you to do something. All the principals, stand up. All principals. Start right here and tell you who you are and what school you have.
I'm Eric Jones at Fayetteville High School. gift at Fayetteville Middle School.
Unity. We want to thank y'all and where? Okay. All right. I couldn't see you. You so little, you drawn up. Yeah. Did we miss anybody? All right. Now, you know, we talk about the elementary schools and high schools, and then we have future education schools, which is our Motlow Community College, which we're very, very proud of. And we have with us the director of that school, Laura Monks, and her husband with her, Terry. If y'all stand up and be recognized. And we have the mayor of the city had a conflict. John Ed and his wife going to be here. I won't know if we have any aldermen present. I know we have one alderman present because some of them we might have more than one. Any aldermen stand up and be recognized. Now we have the county mayor, who is Miss Peggy Bevels, and ask Peggy to stand. Do you have any of your commissioners here?
I think they're all in meetings.
Okay. Now Tracy, you wanted to talk a while ago. We want you to stand up and introduce your wife, Tracy Griggs. All right, Christy, glad to have you. All right, we have also have the director of our Chamber of Commerce, Miss Carolyn Denton. I'd like to recognize Carolyn. And from the Elk Valley Times, we have Paul Henry, who's going to flash me. Be sure we'll get on the front page. And then Don Counts, who was with Federal Public Utilities, he filmed us last year. He said he didn't know he was missing so much fun until they filmed us, but he had a good enough time he came back. Thank y'all, both of y'all. All right, now we're going to get down to sort of talking about the speaker. But before I talk about the speaker, I want to introduce his family. They all over here at one table. We're going to ask Randy's family to stand up and tell you. I want y'all to tell you who y'all are and if that's your uncle or not. Stand up.
I'm Jerry Delap, Randy's daddy.
I'm Judy Delap, Randy's stepmother.
Jay's Randy's brother-in-law.
Katie said, sorry to say, I'm his sister. This is Sam. He said he passes.
Now, this is the next quarterback for us down here. What's your name? You're a deer hunter, aren't you?
He is a deer hunter.
Okay. And then we save the best to last, Randy's wife. Okay. We're glad to have y'all as our guests, and I know that you're going to be delighted. And this family goes back a long way with me. I've known them a long time. In fact, Jerry's first wife, Pat, who had died and had cancer, she was a classmate of mine. Jerry came over in Giles County and stole one of our sweethearts and brought back to Lincoln County. So that's been 50-something years ago, isn't it? Yeah. All right, Lyman Cox going to introduce the guest speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, I too would like to welcome you to the 22nd Annual First National Bank Teachers Banquet. It's always a privilege and an honor to be with the teachers of Lincoln County. Thank you for all you do each and every day to educate the youth of our community. Our guest speaker tonight is proof of how valuable education can help mold a life. A native Lincoln Countyan, he was born and raised in the Lincoln community, where he attended Lincoln Elementary School. He graduated from Central High School and then continued his education at Middle Tennessee State University, studying agriculture. After leaving MTSU, he was employed by First National Bank for 14 years. His career began in Pulaski, and in 1991, he was instrumental in helping open our local office here in Fayetteville. During his service with First National Bank, he graduated from the Graduate School of Banking at LSU. From 1994 to 1998, he served as a county commissioner. And in 2002, he was elected to the Lincoln County Register of Deeds position and was later re-elected for another term, and he currently holds that position now. In 2012, he served as president of the Tennessee Registers Association. As a Lincoln County native, he has devoted a great deal of personal time in serving this community. From cooking barbecue every 4th of July to raise funds for Lincoln Cemetery, volunteering for the Cancer Relay for Life and American Heart Association, participating in the Fabulous 50 show, working with the Carriage House Players. He works hard to give back and to help improve our community. He is the son of Mr. Jerry Delap and the late Pat Delap, and he and his wife, Andrea, live on the family farm in Lincoln, where they continue to enjoy the farm life. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Randy Delap.
Thank you, Lyman, and I'd like to thank the bank for asking me to come and speak to y'all tonight. And after Mr. Jimmy asked me that day, I got in a car and started back toward the courthouse, and I thought, well, what in the world am I going to talk to this group of teachers about? I can't tell them anything about education or anything about young people that they don't already know. And then I thought, well, maybe I could tell them about the teacher that gave me the most inspiration when I was in school. And I started thinking about that, and the more I thought about it, the more I went down that list of teachers, I thought, well, you know, there's a whole lot of teachers that whether it be good, bad, or funny, they meant a lot to me, and I think helped to shape my life. So if you'll bear with me, I want to go through a few of those teachers. Some of them, a lot of you may not too young to know who I'm going to talk about. A lot of you, I think, will. But as Lyman said, I went to school at Lincoln Elementary, or as us folks out there say, it's Lankern. But Lincoln Elementary was a small school. We just had a few over 200 students, and everybody knew everybody. And my first grade teacher, back then we didn't have pre-K and K. We had first grade. And my first grade teacher was Miss Jarrett. And she's everything that you'd ever think about when you think about a first grade teacher. She was kind, she was loving, she treated you just like one of her own children, and that's the way you need to start out in the first grade. You know, you hear your parents and grandparents a lot of times talk about having to walk 2 or 3 miles to school in the snow and the rain and everything. Well, I walked to school about 200 yards. I could see the schoolhouse from my back door nearly, and so I didn't get to ride a bus much until I got on up to high school age. But after Miss Jared kind of got me off on the right foot, I went into Miss Flint's second grade class. And I know, Bonnie, thank you for the meal tonight. Bonnie remembered, those of you that know me and my family knows me, I'm a pretty picky eater. Well, Miss Flint and Carmen Smith, she would have been a modern day nutritionist. Okay, she was very, very strict on making you eat, and she actually went so far as to put a paper plate up on the wall, and when you cleaned your plate down in the cafeteria, you got a star. Well, at the end of the year, I had some half stars, I had some quarter stars, I had some with just a little point off of a star. And we had one real bad episode with spaghetti that we won't get into right now. But I went on from there, and I was fortunate enough to have Miss Jarrett again, and those of you, I don't know if there's any of you here that went to Lincoln, but when we got to the 4th grade, we were lucky. We got to be down in the basement. Now, Lincoln just had one room down in the basement, and you were really big when you got to go down there in the 4th grade. Miss Jarrett, of course, she was still good to us and took care of us, but about that age, apparently, we all had the bad habit of saying ain't. And Miss Jarrett, she had an ain't box. And every time she caught you or you got caught saying the word ain't, you had to put your name in the box. And then at some point in time, we went out back and we buried them. And I go by there a lot and we'll look over there and wonder, are those ain'ts still there? But you know, it's just the little things that teachers do that you remember and make you fond of them. I was hoping he was going to be here because I told Andrew on the way that I think that Coach Barry Campbell down at Blanche is the only teacher that taught me that's probably still teaching. Now, there's several of you that are retired and several that have gone on, but I think Coach Campbell is the only one who actually taught me in school. And he taught me in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and he was our basketball coach at Lincoln. And I was going to remind him of a lot of those Lincoln Highland Rim basketball games. That was the big rivalry back then, and I've told my nephews that they go to Highland Rim, and Coach DeHart, I've told him how hard it is for me to cheer for Highland Rim because that still runs deep, that Lincoln rivalry. But I was hoping he was going to be here because I wanted him to tell my 3 nephews just how great an athlete I really was. That they got all their ability from me, not their mom. But he's not here. But if any of you hear from Blanche, make sure and tell him that I did talk about him. Left Lincoln, came to town. We had at Lincoln, we had a very big 8th grade class all the way through school. We had about 36 kids in our class. And when we graduated from Lincoln, of course, back then we had high schools at Fayetteville and Boones Hill and Central and Blanche. And when we left there were about 4 of us that came to town, to Central, and the rest of them went to Flint. And you talking about culture shock. When you came from a little 200-person school in Lincoln to Central with about 900 people, and of course that's where I met Mr. Leonard Mansfield. And most of you probably, a lot of you are old enough to remember Mr. Leonard. And Joel, I'm going to do this in a minute, but I'm not going to do it near as good as you. But my freshman year, I was in Ms. Lander's English class. Ms. Landers taught Spanish and English, but I had her in English, and she was a sweet lady. And during that year, my grandmother had passed away. My grandfather had passed away a few years earlier, and Mr. Mansfield's wife had been killed in a traffic accident. Well, lo and behold, they started courting while I was a freshman, which made it even more traumatic for me to be at Central and run into him in the hall, as fearful as I was anyway. But one day I was sitting in Ms. Lander's class, and the door flung open, and it was Mr. Mansfield. And he said, "I need to see that D-Lap boy." Well, I just about died. But he called me out in the hall, and to show you how much times have changed, he talked to me, and as most of you that knew him know, he'd tell you he knows your mama, and he knows your daddy, and he knows your grandparents, and of course he was dating my grandmother, so. But he reached in his pocket, and he pulled out a pocket knife, and he handed me that pocket knife, and he said, "Every good young country boy needs a pocket knife. Can't carry a pocket knife to school anymore." But he gave me a pocket knife, and I'll always remember that. And I told Andrew, I said, I guess I'm going to tell off on myself a little bit, some of these things I tell, but freshman year we had algebra. And I had Mr. T.L. Huffman. And he was a good man and he was a good teacher, but I did not understand algebra. I didn't even know how to open the book. And I was about this close to failing. And Mr. Mansfield came to my rescue, he and Miss Ruth Ray, and they got a senior, a Merrill boy, to tutor me in the afternoons. And I squeaked by, barely squeaked by. But needless to say, I didn't take any more algebra. And I was hoping that Miss Cox was going to be here, because after my little escapade with algebra, I went into the bookkeeping general business classes instead of the algebra, and I was going to tell her that I still don't know why X equals Y, but I can balance my checkbook. You make sure and tell her that, Mr. Jim. Balance it every month. Another teacher I had as a freshman and had him for 4 years was Mr. Andy Whitehead in the FFA. And that was one of the best things that ever happened to me. From starting with saying the creed, to public speaking, to all the skills contests and all those things. That was very, very important, and it was a leadership, trained me in leadership that I feel like that I've used the rest of my life. And he was a good teacher, and I really appreciate all he did for me too. And I don't think he's here tonight either. But we went on. Miss Cox was in the 10th grade, but we went on to the 11th grade and had Miss Elizabeth Hayslip in English. And I never was a scholar, but I'd always done pretty good in English. Couldn't speak any foreign languages, but I could do pretty good in English. But I don't know where we got off to the wrong foot. But Miss Hayslip, in all my years of school, Miss Hayslip is the only teacher who ever called my mama. She called her one time and she said, "Your son is either doing one or two things in my class. He's either looking out the window wishing he was farming, or he's flirting with the girl next to him." Well, I denied that when Mama asked me, but to tell y'all the truth, that was what I was doing most of the time. But anyway, I made it through it, but it wasn't pretty. And I had another teacher that year that was really an inspiration to me, and that was Mr. Mike McCowan in American history. And every time I see him up the courthouse now, I think about it, because when we would be studying the Mississippi River, and he'd be talking how big it was and how wide it was and how long it was, he'd look back there at me every time and he'd say, "D-Lap, it's just like that Flint River, the father of all waters." and I agree. But got one other teacher. After the 11th grade, well, in the 11th grade, let me back up, I got two more. In the 11th grade, and probably the reason that I'm able to stand up here and babble on tonight, is Miss Adnia Rice. I had Miss Rice in speech and drama for 2 years, and she took a little old country boy from Lincoln, and she taught me how to get up in front of people and to talk, and some people say act like a fool sometimes, but I can give her credit for that. But she was a very, very special lady, and she helped me more than anything that there's no way to express what she did for me. And then to finish up with my teachers, just to let you know that it wasn't all me. In the senior year, I had Miss Iridicki in English, and I made straight A's. So it wasn't all me. But I just want y'all to know that you may not realize each day what you do for those children in your class. You know, you may have some sitting there that look like they're daydreaming, look like they're looking out the window wanting to farm or flirting with their girlfriend. But you are teaching them, they're learning things from you that they will use in their life, that they will be able to carry on and teach their children. I know there are a lot of you out here in this audience that have taught my 3 nephews out Highland Rim, and I know what y'all have meant to them, just like the teachers meant a lot to me when I was in school. And just always remember that. You know, some of those memories may be good, some of them may be bad, but you do leave an impression on these young people. And I appreciate you for what all you did for me. Thank you.
Randy, we thank you. We appreciate you. Got a little gift that we want you to have. We want you to open it up. We want to see what it is. I want to see what Bonnie's got you.
I don't know if I want to, Bonnie.
You got it wrapped up good, isn't it?
It's a clock and a picture frame.
Thank you, Randy. Now, I'd like to, at this time to call on Dr. Wanda Shelton to come, and she's going to present the Teacher of the Year and some other awards at this time.
First of all, I want to thank the First National Bank and their bank family for bringing us all together again. This is a very stressful time of year for the teachers in our state, and I think it's good for us all to be together tonight and be able to smile and laugh and joke just a little bit, so thank you. And I also forget to do this sometimes, but I want to say a special thank you to Bonnie, because Bonnie puts up with us every year, and it seems like it should be easy to get 400 or 500 teachers in one place at one time, but I know she stresses, so thank you very much. Tonight I want to introduce Dr. Terry Sue Fanning, and she's going to recognize our Teacher of the Year winners.
You're going up front or our Lincoln County Teacher of the Year for pre-K, thank you, pre-K through 4th grade is Deborah Zawistowski. I don't know how well I did that one, but Deborah Z.
She's braver than I am. Thank you. Thank you.
Our Lincoln County Teacher of the Year in our middle school 5 through 8, Miss Judy Conley. And our Teacher of the Year for our 9th through 12th grade program is Miss Renee Thomas. Congratulations to all our teachers.
At this time, we'd like to call Dr. Janine Wilson to come to present the Teacher of the Year awards. This is for the city.
We would also like to say thank you to the First National Bank and everyone involved for this wonderful dinner and for the tradition of honoring teachers. And we have some awards to give.
Okay, from Ralph Addison School, Patricia Lee Jean. From Fayetteville Middle School, Miss Brittany Miller. And at Fayetteville High School, who has a tough job every day dealing with CDC kids, and she's been on our mind quite a bit and in our prayers, Miss Amy Osteen.
I want to say congratulations for the county and for the city Teachers of the Year awards. Now we'll call on Mr. Paul Fisher, Head Administrator of Riverside Christian Academy, to present his Teacher of the Year.
I'd also like to thank the First National Bank for inviting us and providing a good dinner and a fun time. You know, there's nothing quite as fun or as loud as a room full of teachers, so it's a fun evening tonight. Having been in the education business for 30 years, persons who give their lives to educating children should be honored. So I want to thank you all tonight, teachers, for the lives you impact. You do something great. Let's give yourself a round of applause. Very good. Riverside's a lot like a lot of other schools. There are a lot of good teachers there. And however, tonight my job is to choose just one. This dedicated recipient is a wonderful Christian woman who has served at RCA for more than 10 years. She works tirelessly, ensuring her students get the best of a Christian education in Spanish. Congratulations, Sherry Osier.
Congratulations. Now, Jimmy Ellis, where are you? I saw you earlier, but I don't know where he is. You know, last year we talked about your Petersburg team, and that y'all had an awful good team, and you know, we talked about who played on it. And then the next day, I didn't really realize it, Mr. Milton Nesbitt right here married that Mitchell boy's daughter that played on your team, and he's an officer of the bank. Reach over and shake hands with him. Small world. I think he lives up on Ridge. He has some pretty good basketball players his own self. Then the Mitchell girl, one of the Mitchell girls played over at Fayetteville and then went to Georgia and played basketball at Georgia. That's your sister-in-law, Milton? You claim her? Yes, sir. Okay. Well, I want to remind everybody, Bonnie's got this down here and got lines under it. She wants us to remind all of the ones, I'll get to it in just a minute, that everybody that got a award tonight, we're going to gather down at here behind me so that we can get pictures. We want to get our name in the Elk Valley Times. We'll be sure y'all smile right good so we can be on Channel 6. We can all watch what's happening again. Now, Lyman's punched me. He thought I left something out, and I probably had. But I'm glad somebody, Bonnie, if you'd have been here, you could have punched me. We have some other awards that we want to recognize this time. We have a Lincoln County Education Association Teacher of the Year Award and a Scholarship Award by Dale Thomas and Tracy Durham. Y'all come to the podium, please.
Okay, from Blanche, we have Betty Fullerton. She's our Teacher of the Year. Support person from Blanche is Sheila Long. From Fayetteville, teacher Angie Shelton. From Highland Rim, Miss Mary Lynn Ursery. From NGA, teacher Pat Galt. Support person is Monica Means. From South Lincoln, Miss Lana Sims. From Unity, the teacher is David Mitchell. The support person from Unity is Pam Thornton. Okay, now we would like to introduce our LCEA scholarship winner. Her name is Megan Solinger. You can stand up. Megan is the daughter of Lanny and Melissa Spurlock, and Melissa teaches at Ralph Askins, 3rd grade. Megan is ranked 3rd out of 322 of the senior class. She's a member of numerous clubs such as the Beta Club, Academic Team, and Leadership Lincoln, and she plans to attend Berry College in Georgia for elementary teaching. Okay, now we're going to have a drawing for all of our LCEA members for a $50 Walmart card. Tracy McLemore of Blanche.
Again, we want to say congratulations to all recipients. Again, remind you, picture taken at here, right the background after the program. Want to take this opportunity to thank Jacob Sauls for the use of this fine facility and for him letting us host this meeting here. Jacob, thank you. And then we had thank Billy Hall and his helpers for help setting up the tables. Again, want to thank Bonnie and all the helpers who helped decorate and set the table, finish setting the rest of the tables up. Want y'all to stand up and be recognized once and help. And I want the rest of you to stand up and stay and help keep the doors open while I was down there working. Y'all stand up. All right, now the retired teachers didn't hear me first time. Can you hear me, retired teachers? I want the retired teachers to stand up and be recognized. Now, most of y'all have already received the 25-year pen because you retired. But back several years ago, First National Bank started recognizing teachers that reached the milestone of 25 years. And we have 7 recipients of the 25-year pen tonight. Now, if it happened to be any mistakes that we left anybody out other than these 7, we want you to tell Bonnie, and we'll make it right. But we think that we've got it all covered, but I want to be sure to mention that. The first recipient from Fayetteville High School is Amy Olstein. Amy, while you up here, you got a fellow teacher, the Frank Stevens, is not here, so if you'll carry Frank his pen, we'll appreciate it. Thank you. From Fayetteville, Lou Moorhead. Randy, you knew it'd be somebody from Highland Rim, didn't you? Annette Wilkerson. And from Ralph Atkins School, Fran Raleigh. Now I want to ask the people that these have received their 25 years pen, and all the ones that taught more than 25 years, stand up and be recognized. All over 25 years. And I want to know if the ones that would stand that's been to all 22 banquets of the First National Bank Teachers Appreciation Banquet, to please stand. Miss Donna would have stood if she'd have made it tonight. All that's been here, all 22 years. You know, you have to bring in new life to any organization. Young people make us, whenever I talk to the Student Advisory Board, I said, I love to talk to the Student Advisory Board. Keeps me young. And I said, I jump up and click my heels together. I'm 75 years old, but I can still do it. I'll prove it if you want me to. But the message in this is, you bring new people in. And I want to ask all the ones that's our first year teachers, or this is the first time you've been to the banquet, to stand and be recognized. now we're down to the money deal. You know, bankers like money, teachers like money, and if you like win $250, we're going to see who liked it the best. Who's going to have the best percentage of the teachers representing their school? Last year we had one that had 100%. Ninth grade academy had 100% of their teachers here. I don't know who's going to do it tonight, but we're going to call them out. I'm going to call them. Tom is going to calculate, and Randy's going to hit him with his algebra. and Jason Golden and Jeff Alder and Jason Nix going to count on their fingers. Stand up so y'all can count. I'm going to call the schools out, and when I get through, if I've left anybody out, y'all correct me. I guess the first one would be the ones that from blank stand up and be counted. Who?
15.
All right, y'all be seated. Do what? Y'all got it? Got it? Fayetteville High School. The high school, Fayetteville High School. Nine, ain't it? Count. Stand up again. Count. 10. One of you got 8. One got 10. 9. All right. Fayetteville Middle School. Flintville. All together. That's a pretty good crowd. How many you got on this one? Y'all gonna have to count on your toes. How many?
29.
Okay. Highland Rim. Uh-oh. Stand up again. Got to count front and back.
They gonna count you in standing up.
They all bunched up, didn't they? Huh? 50.
That's all of them.
Lincoln. Randy Lincoln. Lincoln County High School. Lincoln County High School. Ninth grade academy.
They had two sit down.
21. Is that right? Correct us. We won't be sure we're right. Ralph Haskins. Three, did he say?
20.
20. Riverside Christian Academy. Hey. South Lincoln.
Basketball coach.
Yeah. She's a good one, too. Y'all hear that?
30.
Stonebridge Academy Learning Center. Unity. Now, Bonnie's always worrying if we have a tie. I don't know if we're close to having a tie or not. She won't know what we're going to do if we have a tie, so we're going to give out 2 awards. Are we tied, Tommy? No ties? We never have ties yet. I wish one time we could have about winners on all of them. All of them a tie for 100%. All right, come to the podium, Tom, and give me your results.
Well, before I announce the winner, I want to make an honorable mention award to Fayetteville because they've had the biggest percent tonight that they've had in years here. Way to go. And the school that had the best percentage here, Highland Rim, with 100%. Debbie? Hello. Okay.
All it is a receipt. You got to carry it to Bonnie to get the good old green cash. So you pick up your receipt afterwards. All right. I want to know if everybody's had a good time so far. That's good. Now we're ready for the door prizes. Now, we have a first response. A lot of people participate in the first response. We had one person that wanted to sort of cheat a little bit on this first response. That's the reason I want to know if he's here. Jim Stewart saw Bonnie on January the 14th, 13. That's the 14th day of January this year, and said, I'm going to attend the teacher's banquet. Wrote it right here. He's not even here. But he couldn't have won because we hadn't sent out the invitation. So y'all want to guess who won it this time? Patsy used to win it every year. Now we got somebody else that won it last year, and then has won it again this time, Sherry Swan from Stonebridge Academy. We got some proof sets. 2013 proof sets. Got 3 of them. Oh, we got Bonnie. Where's your
Right on
the drawing?
Under the table. Under the table.
Now, which one of y'all are the youngest? You get to draw. That deer killer gets to draw.
Pick a good one.
No, give it to Lyman. I can't read. We got 3 of them. Who is it?
Carrie Pittenger.
Carrie Pittenger.
Sheila Quick.
Sheila Quick. You do have to be present to win. Lorraine says she went to Lincoln.
Thank you, sir.
The last.
Maggie Russell.
Now we're about to wind this thing up. We're going to do it in 2 hours, which is pretty good. I want to remind you one thing, and it's about my wife, Miss Donna. She taught for 35 years. She's not here tonight, but she's here in spirit. She said she'd always tell me every morning, said, "I'm going to make a difference in some young person's life today." And she meant it. I challenge y'all to make a difference in a young person's life today. God bless you.